Yum, yum!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Pixel Fondue live stream. I'm Greg, coming here from sunny Silicon Valley, California, and we've got Matt Meersbergen for all the way from Australia.
Good morning. Good
Good
afternoon.
morning. Yeah, it is morning for you, right? Pretty early.
It is
Pretty
morning, yes. It's
early.
9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
9 o'clock in the morning. In Japan, it's 8, right?
8 o'clock, that's correct, yes.
8 o'clock. 3 in the Saturday, 3 in the afternoon on Friday here. So I'm about to kick off close Moto for the day. And so we're just going to kind of chill out and look at some fantastic artwork by Moto Japanese artists. This whole thing was sort of
Definitely.
initiated, Matt has been doing these really cool live streams with Japanese artists. Of course, Matt's fluent in Japanese, and they're all in Japanese. And I've been watching some of those with some of the YouTube subtitles. I thought, maybe we should really show some of this stuff to, American and European and sort of more of our audience over here in Pixel Fondue viewers. And so we just, Matt and we've been friends since I first interviewed you, probably like a year and a half ago or so. I can't remember how
Oh,
long.
it'd be
It's
more
been.
than that, I'd say. Maybe
Yeah.
2 years. Something like
Yeah, and so we've got together, and with a lot of help from the Moto Japan group, we got this going. So why don't we'll talk about Moto Japan group in just a second? Just a quick refresher on Matt. So Matt, not only he's in Australia, but he used to live in Japan, correct?
that. I left university when I was 18. I said to my mum, I'm going to Japan to do martial arts because I want to be a stunt actor. So
Right.
that was an interesting conversation.
Was your
But
mom
so
thrilled with that? Yeah.
well, I was on the path to become in medicine and medical research and all that kind of stuff. So she was a bit interested, just say
Right.
that. So yeah, I went to Japan. I lived there for a year and a half, and I was studying martial arts in the dojo and everything. And then I met my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. And then we came back to Australia for a year, and then we went back to Japan, and I stayed there for another 12 years or so. So all about 13 years in Japan.
Oh wow! So I didn't know you went back. Okay, so
I came back, yeah,
Yeah.
for a year because
So
I needed to. Sorry, yeah.
well, tell me this: were you fluent in Japanese when you moved to Japan the first time?
No, I wasn't fluent. So I did karate for a while. I went up since I was 13. So I knew all the karate words. I knew all the things like "Don't kick me, it hurts. Leave me alone."
All the karate words.
All the karate words.
So you were good. That's all you need to know. Visit
Yeah, that's
Japan.
right. Yeah,
Just know the karate
that's right.
words.
So exactly. So then I went to Japan and then just immersed myself in the dojo and learnt from friends and that type of stuff. And so and took. I actually at the end of it, I was taking classes in Japanese and that type of thing. So it was
Oh, nice.
a big immersive experience there while I was living there. It was great. It was fantastic. It
That's
hurt a lot,
great.
but it was great.
Yeah. So you've been this great sort of bridge to the Japanese Moto community. And let's talk a little bit about the Moto Japan group because they were pretty
Yes.
essential and sort of your connection with them and also sort of putting this presentation together that we're doing today. So, like, what is
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Moto?
So
What? Yeah, explain what is the Moto Japan group is in a nutshell.
Moto Japan Group. Yeah. Okay. So they're an awesome group of people, and they license Moto from the foundry for Japanese release, and they do all the Japanese translations, the Japanese installations. They also do they do a lot of training. So they have like online training, free online training, probably once a month that people can apply for and do the training. That goes for about 2 hours or something, or an hour to 2 hours. They also have paid training that they do maybe once a month, and they also do. I got to know them because I went to Japan once to visit family, and they had a seminar. They do seminars. This is
Oh,
before
okay.
COVID. And I went to the seminar and I met Okawa-san, who is one of she does all the training and all the translating and everything like that. And she's just awesome. She helped me with a couple of questions that I had at the thing. And we've been in contact ever since. And then I called her up one day and I said, look, I'd like to do a live stream every second week, like Royal Clock,
Right.
with Japanese motor users. And she said, yeah, that's great. Let's do that. So we've been doing that for, I don't know, maybe 5 months or something like that now. And
Yeah.
with all this awesome Japanese content, as you mentioned.
So Moto Japan Group, they're not a part of Foundry. They have a partnership with Foundry, and they localize
Yes.
Moto. They do training for Moto. They market it. They do seminars. And
Yep.
by localize, I mean they if you look at the Japanese Moto version, it's got Japanese language and text and stuff like that.
Yep.
And so they're super essential, obviously, in sort of bringing this 3D program over to Japan.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. And they do. You can call or type in or send emails, and they'll do problem solving for you and that type of stuff to with Moto. So they're really essential in Japan.
I think they also do a localized version of William Vaughn's topology book as well.
That's correct. Yeah. So
Yeah.
his book is selling over there now, all in Japanese, and yeah, I believe it's doing pretty well.
Yeah, great. So, so
Yeah.
I think what I'll do is I'll put a link. There's a whole bunch of links down in the description. I don't think I have the Moto Japan group link down there yet, but I'll put that in there, and we'll refer to some of those links throughout this program. What Matt and I are going to do is we're just going to show a bunch of work from different artists and production companies from Japan, and Matt's going to introduce them, and we'll comment on them and kind of go through them. And again, refer you to the Twitter pages and things like that of some of the artists. The idea here being we're just trying to forge some links and enlarge the community and bridge these two communities together. Obviously, a very thriving Moto community over in Japan, and we want to do a thrive, sort of connected to this thriving community over here, and like Europe and the United States and Australia, where we have Matt. And so that's just the idea here. So we're just going to kind of chill here on Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, and talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
And
Got my coffee.
got your coffee, got my Diet Coke, and so we'll just start off with the Hazako here, and Matt, you just kind of tell us what we're looking at, and tell us a little bit about Hazako.
Yeah. Okay. So Hisato is she joins my live stream every second week, and she works in she creates like point of sale video motion graphics for point of sale in a shop or in
Sure,
a
yeah.
department store or something like that. Yeah, so she does motion graphics and animation. And she created this little character, and did a tie up with another guy who was on my live stream, Yoshikawa-san, and they did a little animation of this guy going around Japan, different areas, collecting stamps or stickers to put on the luggage.
On
It
the
was for a
luggage, right.
promotion.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think
Um,
so we've got a little bit of that video we can show, and then I'm just going to kind of like show some of her work here because she has some. Let me just
first, yes.
hide you and I here.
Around with the hair and obviously the colors and everything, and very stylized in a certain era or a certain fashion sense. Like the
Yeah,
girl on the right there, I think it's the right. Her hair is candy
right.
because
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
holding lollipops. Yeah.
Got
So
the little
and the
trick
other
or
girl
treat.
is yeah, that's fantastic. And the other.
Good on these models. So this one I thought was interesting. If you just tell me about the one on the right, the sort of Barbie.
She liked that style, so she had put the doll there and put all these, like, this is the beach action figure with all the accessories for the beach around her in a plastic toy product, which
Right.
is really cool. It was a great idea. It's a great idea. I love it.
Nice. Hey, just for the viewers, if audio went out when I hid our stupid faces covering up this stuff, the audio is attached to the video, so our faces are going to be plastered over this, just which is I think fine. But I won't turn off the audio again just in case it came out. So
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, so just moving on. So right. So
Yes.
yeah, that one's awesome. She could do like an entire collection of those. I think. I do think, like,
Yeah.
honestly, there is a sort of an emerging market for collectible 3D art. It doesn't necessarily have to be the NFT thing, but just in general, like all
No.
art is sort of going digital, and this sort of like doll set or whatever, like going to the beach set. It seems like there's something there. Like you'd have a whole series of those.
It does. She could definitely sell that.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
awesome.
And then the seahorse one is also like super creative. You've got that I don't know, it's like a rope seahorse hot air balloon kind of thing going on.
It's I don't know what goes on in her mind, but it's awesome. I love
Yeah, she's got some like some
it. Uh,
spoons there. There's like maybe for
yeah, to
steering. And
steering on
again,
this
yeah,
seahorse, which is great.
just a little
Love
doll
it.
sort of thing here. And here's like again a whole series of characters. Um, I
She's
think
definitely got like that style. She's definitely got a style going on, hasn't she? She's one of those artists that you can look at it and go, "Oh, that's probably done by Hisako." You know?
yeah, and honestly, the sort of the sort of point of sale art direction with the sort of these color schemes, I think is kind of you can see where maybe some of that talent is coming from. But yeah, I like
Yeah,
these. There's all sort of like different facial expressions on all of them and everything like that. So let
yeah.
me, you know what, we can show a little bit of the YouTube video. Let me see if I'll probably just turn the audio down there a little bit. Let me see if I can go to that. And this is the sort of travelogue one.
Yeah, so she and Hisako and Yoshikai-san made this for like a travel promotion. And this little guy goes around in his car to various places around Japan and collects stickers for
Yeah,
his suitcase.
got a nice little motion graphics look to it. I wonder if they did some After Effects work in this as well, I'm guessing.
Probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
All
She
right.
did all the modeling for the character and the texturing for the character, and Yoshikai-san did a lot of the did everything else, basically the animation and probably the landscapes and
Yeah,
the
cute.
car.
All right.
Yeah, that's
Got
great.
some cute music there and everything. All right, cool. So why don't we can just kind of let this go. There's just a little bit left here. Gotta have the Mount Fuji, of
And if
course.
people want to have a look at the links are in the they're in the description, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll get a link for this
Yeah.
in the description as well. So yeah, sort of traveling around that kind of thing. So very cool. Why don't so
cute.
this next artist we're going to show, Kai, is pretty well known in the Moto community. I think he has a very active Twitter account. His Twitter link is down in the description, and you should follow him because here we're going to show some character work he's done. But this dude does like all kinds of mesh operation and particle mod stuff, and he often will do like little animated GIFs on his Twitter and also show the Moto setup. So he's definitely somebody to follow. If you, he's like in the advanced user setting, I would think.
Yes.
When you see
Yeah,
some of these,
very.
yeah, definitely when you see some of the setups he has here, and this particular character, can you tell us anything about it?
I think this is a character that he made for himself as like a hobby. But the character itself is a girl cat. So she's got ears, she's got a tail, and she's got the fangs here.
Got the fangs, yeah.
But the fangs, yeah. But he made it all in Moto and rigged it with Character Studio and customized it to the max. It's like the upper echelon of Character Studio.
Yeah, we're gonna show
the
a
character
video.
box, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to show a video here in a second, and so you can kind of see how this is rigged up. But just so you know, if you look at this screen here, and you have all these selection setups on the right, the bodies and the face, and all this like really cool stuff. There's a tutorial linked below in the description that Matt did. It's on Pixel Fondue that shows you how to create these sorts of selection web views in Moto. And if you're doing sort of hardcore character work like Kai has here, it'll show you how to do that. There's also a link to, if you look at these sort of boxes with the circles in them, those are character controls, sort of puppeting controls. William Vaughn did a video on how to make those in Pixel Fondue as well, and that link is also in the description. And yeah, so, and if you look, this is sort of the character box setup here. You see the character box bones here. There's a link to character box in the description as well. A lot of the Japanese Moto character artists use character box. I know Matt uses character box a lot.
Yes.
And there's a lot of character box tutorials. I think I put Matt's little playlist in the links, so there's a ton of those.
Right.
Kai's videos. We're gonna take a look at this facial rig here, which is like check that out, man.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, you got the boxes there. You got the this must be advanced viewport because the eyes and everything looks super good in the hair. And look at the hair jiggle on there when the head moves.
Yeah, so that's secondary. That's a character box function there that you can give the. They use a muscle system, and you can put jiggles on the muscle, but you can actually make it into a hair. So it's just like an IK system on the hair strands,
right.
And they you put it as a muscle, and you get that secondary jiggle there when it's moved. So
interesting, right? So it's sort of the bone is actually jiggling and then causing the deformation. It's not jiggling the vertices, right? So, or it's not like a soft lag deformer or something that's doing a secondary animation.
It's actually rigged and weighted to the character boxes there,
right?
In the hair.
And we've got this other view here where he's using command regions or grid clay, I think they're called now, to select, just pick. There's not a million controls on the model. You just pick the part of the model you want to work with, and various control boxes will show up, and tool handles will relevant tool handles show up. Just he's got the stuff on the side there. I mean, this is good. This is really good stuff. But it's
advanced stuff.
It's advanced stuff, but it's totally, like I said, it's totally in the grasp of people who want to learn it.
It's not that difficult.
Yeah, it's not that difficult.
Yeah,
it's
not
just
that difficult.
You're putting the time to do it, and we're going to, scaling up the arm. So, and this is rigged into character box. These types of controls, you see both the command regions and the selection web views. You can hook those up with ACS3, like Auto Character Setup 3 as well, correct?
That's right. Yeah, you can. Yes, that's right. It's not just to character boxing. It's ACS3. I think Luke has put in some buttons to do the command regions, but you have to do it manually with character box.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think
that's what's so good about ACS3. He's done a lot of automated in ACS3, which is fantastic.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I gotta look at that tail IK again there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's like we've got IK. This is all character boxes built in IK. You've got sort of a spline IK there as well, with all kinds of commands and probably some jiggle sort of physics on there. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, pretty awesome. And Kai's like I said, his Twitter is super active as well. So let me see if I can find his Twitter here real quick. This might be it. Is let me see here. Is that going to come up in Kai's Twitter?
He posts a lot of things on his website, like tutorials. They are in Japanese, but you can do a translation, and that's how I work out how to do the selection maps for the characters. He's going to his website and doing it from there.
Yeah, he's got so much on there. In fact, if I can, I'll just kind of scroll through. You see me scrolling through it all?
Yep, sure.
Just kind of scroll through. So he's got, there's a ton of links here. He links to Pixel Fondue stuff. And just a lot of you'll see a lot of this kind of animated GIF stuff where he'll show you, some of the experiments he's working on. But this, if you're interested in, here's our live stream. So if you're interested in learning any sort of advanced techniques in Moto, or even just cool little motion graphics type stuff, Kai's Twitter is sort of a must-have to follow. And actually, the translations work pretty well if you're an English or German or French user or something like that.
Yeah, not bad. It's interesting because he uses Maya or Max at work, but when he's at home, he loves using Moto. So
oh, really? Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Well, it's one of those guys who can use multiple programs. Next we've got Hiroshi Yoshi. Am I saying that right?
Hiroshi Yoshi. Yes,
Yes.
Hiroshi. Yeah,
Yoshi
yeah,
Hiroshi.
yeah.
Okay, so this guy's
Hiroshi.
actually quite well known, and because he makes so many of these cute little characters, and in fact, does he make one a day? Do you know? Is
It's
or is
basically
this
one a day. Yeah, yeah. You wake up in the morning, check Instagram, and there's a new one. It's like it's amazing, and they're all really good.
yeah, no kidding. I
There,
mean, yeah,
I want a wall of all his characters, just a one wall. It would be great. Be awesome. Like
yeah,
little figures.
it's pretty. Yeah, I think the hardest thing is sort of coming up with what to show at some point, right? And I mean, like what to
Yeah, I
like,
know.
besides actually making them, like just what do you do? I'm just going to kind of scroll through here. You see the scrolling, Matt? Let me just make sure this is streaming right.
Yeah, it's scrolling.
And so
Yeah.
there's I don't know. This PDF
That
has.
rocket guy. Look at that rocket guy there. He's awesome.
Oh yeah.
He's like
Uh,
bottom left. Oh, he's got a
oh
face,
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
looks like a
Bottom left.
rocket.
Just so you know, there's 112 pages of these. Like, I'm not gonna go through all of them. But I will say there's a certain. So he's got this sort of like glazed porcelain look on a lot of these, and then there's a lot of them with have a sort of he's using Moto fur a lot as well. Um,
Yeah.
it feels like there should be like these should be squishy toys you can put on your desk or something.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
I don't know that there's a 3D printer that can do squishy toys yet, but when there is,
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
this will be the
He's
one.
he since he's been doing this, excuse me, since he's been doing this, he's got a lot of commission work, and in Japan they have a lot of they have mascot characters for everything in Japan,
Yeah, yeah,
which is
yeah.
great. Yeah,
Famously, yeah, right.
yeah. So his work, that guy's awesome. His work was featured in many different places. You can see. We could put some links in the description, but he's done work for Swarovski, the jewelry.
Oh wow, yeah.
Swarovski. He made some crystal characters for them. He made for the city of Cow. He made a whole installation of these characters in an event hall that were made life size.
Right.
So yeah, he gets a lot of commission work from these characters, which
Well,
is
I
great
mean,
to
if you
hear.
want to
It's
promote
fantastic.
yourself, I mean, it was really pretty ingenious what he's done here. He's made characters which, these are all doable in a day, right? And then he's just set out creating, set a goal for himself, obviously, and just created a massive body of work. And,
Yeah,
it's attainable. I think some people, when they try to create a body of work, they try to make things that are just a little too complicated and they end up with just one or two pieces. And this guy's
yeah,
just like, yeah, and obviously it's worked out for him. There's so much of this stuff. His Twitter, I'll get his Twitter up here as well. And that is linked in the description because he'll put a lot of this stuff up on Twitter. And they actually I don't have his Twitter into OBS here, but check out his Twitter. He'll have his most recent things. Just looking at these, one of the things I'd like to see him, maybe when Empath it gets a little more mature, I'd love to see him explore some sort of translucent materials, some sort of like gummy,
yes.
like sort of materials on some of these characters. I think they'd look just awesome. Like,
Subsurface category. Yeah.
yeah, like subsurface scattering. We'll see if we can get like a random walk. I think we're hopefully going to be getting some random walk, subsurface scattering, and empath, or maybe Octane could do some of that stuff. But I think that kind of material on a lot of these characters would just be just awesome. I mean, just it's
Awesome.
just like yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
He's
that's
fantastic.
yeah, that's Hiroshi. So check out his Twitter and let's
Instagram. He's on his Instagram as well.
oh, Instagram as well, right? Oh, I should
Yeah.
put some Instagram links in there as well. And so I always
Yeah.
butcher this guy's name, so I want you to say it.
Sometimes I butcher it, but Rokusuijo-san. Rokusuijo.
Oh, okay.
Rokusuijo. Yes. Yeah. So Rokusuijo, he's also one of the members in my fortnightly live stream, and he, I believe, works in the gaming industry. But when he's at home, he likes to get in Toto and make a whole heap of characters, and he's also making his own Unreal game, and this is one of the characters from his Unreal game.
Right,
That
right.
he's yeah. He showed us one of the live streams that we've done, and it looks pretty cool. This character, this girl character, goes around and slays a lot of things, which is
Yeah,
great.
he's super prolific. He's also like a really good 2D artist, Photoshop artist. And so I actually noticed this guy on Twitter, just sort of semi-randomly. That's how I started following his work. And let me just sort of go through here. But he does a lot of, I'm guessing a lot of his commissioned work instead of the characters is he has all this like really good food art that I don't know if he's just,
It's not missions. He just wanted to do it.
oh, he just likes doing it. So this is also
He just likes doing it.
just doing the,
Yeah.
this is a
He
whole,
likes to explore. He likes to explore, like get into a topic like food, and
right.
just see what he can do with it. And he comes up with some fantastic. I mean, look at that cake. You
Yeah.
can eat that, which is just awesome.
I've actually had these.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
They're sort of mashed rice.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's like, oh, we got the beer, of course.
Yeah.
So I think there's like a whole subgenre of 3D rendered food that is just gonna take off. Like there's a sort of a foodie sort of industry that likes this stuff. And 3D rendering, as you can see by his artwork here, has gotten to the point where it can really it's going to start, it's on par with photography now, and there's so much more you can do with it. So I think this is, again, like the sort of following, if you're looking to get followings on Twitter or Instagram, this is like a good attainable genre to do, and for whatever
definitely.
reason, Moto has like a number of like super good, like food artists. It's got to be culinary artist. There has to be a different term for this.
Food artist.
Food artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be like maybe not the best. So, his Twitter. Why don't I see if I can get his Twitter up here as well, real quick, and just kind of scroll through it. Let's see. Dink dink. Is that the one? Or that is actually Kai. Go. There it is. So in his Twitter, let me just kind of do a little scroll here. So you can see this is some of the stuff you're talking about here, where he's creating this Unreal game. He's just doing some Photoshop.
Well, I'm not sure if this is the Unreal game, but it looks like it. But he, like I said, he has periods of time where he focuses on something, and right at this particular time, because he was doing food, then he did furniture. And now he's doing, he's like sketching and working on these artistic sketches for characters, because he wants to model more characters. He wants to do more animation and more modeling of characters. So he's working through his, obviously his lighting and his textures and everything, and different poses. And
man, must be nice to be this good in Photoshop.
The guy's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the sort of talent. Especially like I used to be a wildlife painter and a sort of a traditional artist, but after 25 years of 3D, it just kind of goes away if you don't practice on it. This dude is just a ridiculous artist, and doing it in 3D as well. I didn't know he was doing furniture. The dude, he's like covering all genres here, isn't he?
Yes. And I also have to say that he does, if you scroll back up again, you can see just that hamburger.
Uh-huh.
He did a recent webinar or an online training, because Moto Japan Group does online training maybe once a month with specific Moto users. So I've done one with Character Box in Japanese, and he did one on procedural textures for that hamburger.
Oh, interesting.
So that hamburger is all procedural textured, and he took an online course where everybody joined in and created hamburgers.
Very cool. All right, and his definitely, again, somebody to follow on Twitter. The link is in description. Definitely follow this guy, and he's one of the guys who also does like mousing progressions, so you can kind of see his ideas coming to life from 2D to 3D over time, and really awesome stuff. Okay, so this next is a company called yamatoworks, and we're just going to show some stills that they've done and show their website a little bit. But there's some links to their animations that we'll put in the description as well, because they're involved with a lot of like Netflix shows and stuff like that. So we got to be careful what we're showing here. But they did allow us to show some still images, and this stuff is next level, like sort of 3D to 2D look. And this is modeled, now correct me if I'm wrong here, but modeled in Moto, but using a rendering engine out of Lightwave, maybe a custom render engine, or what are they doing in Lightwave with the Moto models?
Okay, so Sawada-san, who works for yamatoworks, he is also on my live stream every 2 weeks, and he did the character on this movie that they made, and here is in Modo. But they export the models from Modo. They have about 15 people use Modo in-house, I believe, and then they export it to Lightwave, and they do the rigging and then the animation and then the rendering out in Lightwave and composite it in After Effects or Nuke. I think it's
right. Now
but they
go ahead.
I was going to say that they've used Lightwave because they've used it for such a long time, and they have specific tools or plugins that allow to do the cell shading and the really, really clean lines for these characters, which is actually quite difficult to pull off.
Yeah, it really is. And so I know Psoft, who makes Character Box, does make a cell shading program, but it is not available for Moto yet. I know people have been, you probably in particular, have been like trying to get that to happen. And so it's all
Pencil
like
Plus for Moto. Yeah,
Pencil Plus, because I honestly think, after watching Into the Spider-Verse, and I'm going to bring up their website here. After watching Into the Spider-Verse and Arcane in particular on Netflix, 3D characters with a 2D look, I feel are much more relatable for whatever reason. They sort of leap over the uncanny valley. And I think that's what we're going to see is that sort of character. And I really want to see those tools available in Moto. So maybe we can bang on Alan or Greg Brown and see if we can, whatever they need to get that ported, and then we can all buy it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, because Pencil Plus is with Studio Max, I think, at the moment. But you can see here the Rick and Morty poster there.
Yeah.
If you go to the website, click on that and watch a Japanese version of Rick and Morty. It is very funny.
It's wild.
It's very good.
Yeah, I recognize this Dragon's Dogma as well here as a Netflix show that they have on their website. And then here's the one we were looking at there, LS. And one that I had seen a while ago, which I was so thrilled to see on here, was the Batman Ninja.
It's crazy.
Batman Ninja one. Now, I'm trying to be careful, not clicking on a bunch of stuff here, just show stuff we don't have permission to show. But again, the link is in the description, and maybe we can get a live stream with these guys in MotoWorks at some point, and they can really kind of tell us a little more about the work they've done, because it's really just fantastic AAA sort of animation work, and the fact that they use Moto and are using these special tools with Lightwave is really interesting to me. So most of the models are used with Moto, the modeling. But it's ported over to Lightwave. But interesting. Moto actually will still save out an LWO file, I think, like a Lightwave native file.
That's right.
With UV maps and everything else. So it's sort of a built-in tool pipe there. Or tool line or pipeline, if that's what you use. So that's yamatoworks. And then so this next guy, Akira Goto, right?
Yes.
So this
guy's got some work.
Yeah. So we're going to be showing some animation here, because this guy does some absolutely fantastic animation. And it's funny because so Akira, I know it's probably a common name. We have two Akiras here in the live stream. So it must be a common name in Japan, but if you're an American animation fan, you think of one thing when you hear the word Akira.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
I just want to go Akira. You just want to shout out Akira. And I just watched that with my daughter, who's really into anime, and she's finally at the age where she's 17. So I'm like, okay, we can watch we could watch Akira now. It's pretty hardcore, right? With, like the
Yeah,
violence.
definitely.
But
Yes.
but yeah, she dug it, and it's like if you're gonna watch, if you're into cyberpunk, you gotta watch Blade Runner. If you're into sci-fi, you gotta watch Star Wars. You're into anime, you gotta watch Akira.
You
And I
watch
know,
Akira.
and
Yeah.
anyway, so enough of that Akira, but let's talk about this Akira. So
Yeah.
this Akira
Yeah.
does these really fantastic images, and let me just get
So
up
while you're
this.
bringing that up, I'll just talk to him about him a minute. For a minute, he's been in the animation industry for about 7 years. He started at a animation studio as an intern, wasn't paid for about 6 months, and then he was hired, and he works as an animator in the studio. But the studio doesn't use Moto, but he goes home and uses Moto because he just likes it to use it.
Yeah.
And he models all these great characters, and then he animates these little loopable animations, which are really cool.
Yeah, so we're going to show some of these loops here, which I suppose he puts on Instagram or something along those lines. I think I have his Twitter in the description. If I don't, I'll get it in there. Also, I should get his Instagram. But these are loopable. Obviously, Moto has found a niche for artists who want to work at home. If they're using Maya or Max at a studio and they want to work at home. And we can do these sort of cool, I mean, his stuff is like, his animations, does he use character box as well? I think he does, yeah?
He uses character box for his animation. Yeah, his animation is spot on. It's really well done.
Yeah, I like
And
this.
it's all loopable.
It's yeah, all these are looping, and the stylization of the characters. I love this one because it's really short. It just loops. I don't know if these are hedgehogs or what.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. We got to go. Oh, we got some scary eyes there in the tree. I love this stuff again because it's attainable, right? I like to see this kind of work, and this is the sort of stuff you've had success with this on YouTube Shorts, like these sort of short format little animations where you'll put this on YouTube Shorts, and then all of a sudden you have millions of views. And Akira's stuff is definitely if you don't have it up there, get it up there because
YouTube Shorts. I will mention it to him. He should put some on YouTube Shorts because it'll definitely take off.
Totally, yeah. And so this one is different. Obviously, this sort of. Let me just sort of loop this guy. This one's really good.
Yeah, so
this is hand animated.
Hand animated. I think it was like he did a bit of a series of this girl character, and he's put her in different sporting situations. But it's all hand animated. It's not motion capture. It's because I asked him specifically, "Did you motion capture this?" And he goes, "No, it's all hand animated."
Yeah, and you got and it's tough to get the ball to go. If you've had characters like
it's very tough.
Like this is the
I've
ultimate
done it
of
recently. It's tough.
Yeah, the ultimate of picking something up and putting it down, picking it up, putting it down. Pretty good, really good crossover step back there at the end too. I'm trying to look here.
But you're into basketball, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't really
basketball.
have any basketball critiques here. I'd say get your head up when you're dribbling. That's about all I'd say here.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
A little flat-footed, but not the animation, just the basketball. But the crossover, as we go around the little Steph Curry move there at the end, go round, yeah, boom, boom. That is a tough move. Sort of a. Now, if they called it a foul, it would be a James Harden move. But if he got a free foul from the refs there, this is one of my favorite ones here. The camera work on this I love. The motion blur.
Yeah.
Boom, loopable.
It's so dynamic. It's just
this one's
so seamless.
Yeah, this one's that one's awesome. This one we got the 2022 sort of New Year's Year of the Tiger.
Year of the Tiger this year. So he did a Year of the Tiger series, and this is like fireworks in Japan being blasted into the.
Yeah, it's got maybe sort of a Kung Fu Panda 2 vibe with some of the stylistic. I'm thinking maybe mostly the peacock, maybe, but this one's really great, and he's got some explainer videos on here as well. I may have to see. Do I have make sure the audio's down on this one. So he's it's all in Japanese, so we're gonna keep the audio down, but I'm just gonna kind of drag through here a little bit. And you can see Moto there, and you can see. Let's see if we can see some character.
Well, you can see the boxes there, boxes of the character box.
Yeah, right,
rigging
right.
done.
Yeah, the sort of semi-transparent blue boxes or the character box rigs.
Yes. Yeah.
And when you use character box on a character like this,
Yep.
do you bind the geometry with a standard Moto like heat map bind, or does character box have its own binding algorithm?
It does. Well, the algorithm behind the scenes, I'm not sure, but they do have a bind button. So you bind it, and then you go and paint the weights and do specific weights that you want. But it is. I do find character box is fast compared to normal rigging in Moto.
Yeah,
so
it is
definitely.
definitely.
They've got their own locators and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, look at the mouth. Jeez, look at all the effort on that. It must be like a spline. Is that spline deformation around the mouth with spline controls?
I think it's probably
or just joints.
Character box. I think it's just character box because you can do custom rigs for the face.
Oh, nice there. Okay. Yeah, so and again, he's got a breakdown of almost every animation we've shown. And honestly, Akira, I would throw some of these up in if you have a YouTube channel or Twitter or some things like that, so people can kind of check those out. They're so cool. So that's Akira Goto, and we've got another Akira Suzuki here, who's done this sweet sort of horror film, I guess, right?
Yes. Yeah. So the title's sort of covered by my head there, but it's called Horror of the Underworld.
Horror of the Underworld.
Yes, Horror of the Underworld. So this is one of few official selections in around the world in some film festivals, and he used Moto in modeling a lot of the characters, or all of the characters, and even some of the particle work in these in this movie. That if you go to, there should be a link in the description. Please go to there, and you'll be able to watch the movie.
Yeah, the trailer.
It is horror.
Yeah. So this is hardcore samurai sword zombie creatures. We got a guy in a suit and a mech. The suit makes the mech. Like I think all mech drivers need to wear a 3-piece suit from now on. There's something about that.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. So there he is again getting away. There's something this is very very Japanese. What I'm seeing like some of these there's the sort of body horror creatures there. And we've got there's another one maybe coming out of a underwater or something there. Here's a Moto scene. So we've got some particles going on there. There's the mech.
That's right.
So he used
excuse me. He used a particle system for this scene and rendered it out and composited it in After Effects, I believe.
Yeah, that's got to be a real passion project to put the effort in. There's some slug-like creatures. Maybe there's a particle system there you can see at the bottom. Yeah. And you are brave going in with Moto's particle system. Moto's particle system is super capable, but it is you've got to understand how it works. There's actually some.
I'm always surprised.
Yeah, it's like actually
with the particle system.
Yeah, it's actually really
you can
capable.
do that, and then but it is a bit of a curve, like curve.
It is a curve. It's one of those things you learn how to do something, then you don't use it for a year, and you kind of forget how to do it. There is some really good Moto particle tutorials by a guy who used to make a ton of Moto tutorials. I'm forgetting his name. Somebody in chat remind me who made all those Moto particle tutorials, and I'll shout it out here. He's doing a lot of Blender stuff now, but he has a big library of Moto stuff. William or somebody in the chat will do it, and I'll shout it out. But anyway, check out Akira's show, and it's also streaming on Voodoo, some service. I can't remember which.
It's in America. I can't actually watch it here though. I'm not in the. I think it's America.
Right.
We'll put the link in anyway.
Right. We'll see if we can find it. See, I guess there's. I was looking at chat here.
Xumo, XUMO.
Right.
Which is a TV channel type thing online.
Right. Yeah, Steve. That's his name. I'm sorry. I'm getting the particle system guy from the chat. Steve. What's his last name? Steve Hill. Was it Steve Hill? There's a different Steve.
Maybe Steve Hill has done some recently. Particles.
Moto Morsel Steve Hill? I thought there was also another one. Anyway, so we'll follow up on that. But yeah, check out Akira's stuff here, and we're just gonna keep cruising on here to another Hiroshi. So we got two Akiras and two Hiroshis.
Yes.
So yeah, this Hiroshi is sort of a master retoucher Photoshop artist who also uses Moto, correct?
Yes. So he works at a retouching company in Japan that does posters and cosmetics and all that kind of stuff. But in his spare time, he likes to take 3D models of women and or faces, humans, and just do some fantastic looking what do you call makeup or glitter or
Oh,
whatever.
like virtual, like sort of a AR sort of makeup type thing, huh? Not
Yeah,
AR,
no,
but
well,
like, well,
not
if you
a, but
get it
yeah,
real time, you can go AR. That's what
yeah,
Hiroshi's do is some AR makeup, some like Snapchat filters with glitter. I think everybody
yeah,
looks
right.
better. Everybody looks better with glitter. I think after looking at this one, like definitely
Yeah,
glitter is doing. You can see the little tiny replicator glitter there, and all the hair, the fineness of the hair. And then if you
yeah.
keep going over to there, it is in
Here we go.
Moto,
This is it.
like
Yeah,
pretty sophisticated shader tree setup over there, and there's again particle
and that's for
system
the background.
for the background, and then bringing it all
Yeah.
together in Photoshop. There, a lot of layers.
When I
There's
first saw that, I thought that was a real face, like a real human face, but
yeah,
it's all 3D.
a really good retoucher can do magic. Like I've known a couple really good
Yeah.
product retouchers over here, and in fact they were retouchers before they're photo retouchers prior to getting into 3D. But having retouching skills, if you do product photography or or sort of human work like this, you are putting yourself on another level skill wise, because you
Yeah.
can. But it is,
The
yeah. So you look at the number of layers in Photoshop there. It's sophisticated work, and you watch somebody like this do
yeah.
work over time lapse. They'll just they'll work with dozens of layers in Photoshop. They
Oh,
work
yeah.
really
It's
quickly.
amazing.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
company that he works for, I used to work for in Japan,
Oh, really?
and the boss, really super nice guy, but he is the king of retouching. He is
Yeah,
fantastic. He was a great mentor and a great boss as well. But
yeah.
yeah, but he works for the same company now, and yeah, they do some fantastic work.
Yeah, so and I'll look for. I don't think we have this Hiroshi's Twitter or Instagram. I don't know
No,
if they have if
we
Hiroshi has
don't.
one, but if they do, then I'll definitely put it up there because I'm sure there's some awesome work there. This next one is just we're just getting some more sort of day-to-day work type stuff with this is Kenwood, the Kenwood group, audio
It's
equipment,
Kenwood,
high end audio
JVC.
equipment, yeah. And they
Yeah,
do they use Moto for this is the type of work I do, which is just a lot of virtual product photography essentially. And those are some earbuds and like a case. This is just all like rendered in Moto, right?
yep. So they have
Probably.
about three people on their team.
Uh,
They have about three people on their team that the design team that uses Moto, and they take SolidWorks files from the engineers, I guess,
yep.
the engineers, and then they make the high resolution images for the catalogs and the magazines and that type of thing. But
Yeah.
it's just beautiful
And,
work,
yeah.
and
That's
a high end name, the JVC and Kenwood.
Kenwood. Sure.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
mm,
And I thought actually I could be wrong on this, but I thought Black Magic Design, who's Australian, I believe, used Moto for their product photography as well. But it has a similar sort of, like tech products and white background. This is my world where it's just, and if you're doing this type of work, like Moto will load SolidWorks data natively, which is really useful. But you can also just get the Moto CAD loader plugin. I believe Polytrans technology is behind it, and you can load in step files and things like that, which sometimes give you a little more flexibility than the standard SolidWorks loader if you're doing this kind of work, where you can define your tessellation level with a little more flexibility, define how you want replicators and instances to be brought in as meshes or whatever. But this is what I do every day, and this is really good work. The lighting, getting this sort of lighting is pretty painstaking sometimes. And I don't know if they use HDR Light Studio, but HDR Light Studio is really good for this type of
It's
stuff
good
as
for that.
well. Yeah,
Yeah,
and works
definitely.
with
Yeah,
Moto and Moto Octane and the Moto Native Renderer, so it's really really good stuff. I used to have a
yeah.
sweet Kenwood receiver in college too. Let me tell you, it was. I spent a lot. I spent an entire summer's worth of money on that Kenwood. So,
Nice. Good
yeah,
memories. Good memories.
totally. So impract. So these guys are interesting. They do some ArchViz work, which again is another sort of pretty common Moto area of use or use case here. There's a lot of people do ArchViz work in Moto, and these
Yep.
guys
Very big in
do.
Japan.
Yeah, so this is like a bakery or a sort of maybe a mall type of sweets shop here. But
Yeah.
the cool stuff is like this one. So just tell us what this is.
Okay, a bit of background. In Japan, they have event spaces, I guess you can call them, but they are basically either a hostess bar or a host bar. And so after work, you can go. Adults can go to these places and chat to girls or guys, and they're very themed. This one is sort of like it's almost a bit mafioso. It's a bit mafia looking. Not sure what they were
Yeah,
going for, but it's
there's
sort of
yeah, Italian restaurant in New York, the kind of
Italian
thing.
restaurants with the booth
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything. You can sort of see Joe Pesci sort of sitting down there, maybe.
yeah. I used to live in the Village in New York when my wife was in law school at NYU, and there was one of these places, sort of next to Washington Square Park, and the curtains are always drawn. You know, nobody ever went in there. It was a restaurant, but nobody ever went in there. Every once in a while, a limo would pull up, and somebody, a really huge guy in a suit would open the door for some like other guy who would get in the back of the limo and they'd drive away. And like, I don't think that's a restaurant. But
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a
but
great story.
these are kind of playful. Like here's another one of the sort of an underwater
Yes.
theme
So
as
this one's
well.
the aquarium themed hostess bar that they designed and did all the interior in Moto, and then actually go and build it, and
Yeah.
using the Moto as the template, you could say.
Yeah, so somebody in chat, Red Gunner, is saying it looks like a Japanese hostess bar, and it is, but a
It
real
is.
one. He says well, he only sees them playing through Yakuza games. I have got to play Yakuza, man.
Okay, okay.
I've missed out on the Yakuza games, but yeah, that is. It's a Japanese hostess bar. I was actually talking to a friend here a weekend ago. He doesn't watch these, so I can get away with this. But he said so. But there's sort of the Korean equivalent of these, certainly in Silicon Valley. There's probably some Japanese ones as well. It's just a really big Asian population
Yep.
there, which is
Yep.
hostess bar. It's not. It's not a topless bar, but it's
It's
not
not
exact.
seedy. They're not.
It's
No,
yeah.
they're not seedy.
It's not Hooters either, where it's like chicken wings
No.
and like a football game. There's something in between where you're
It's
expected.
basically they started off with the salarymen after work being really tired, and then they go for a drink, a bit of food, but then they talk just with the girls,
Have some
or the
conversation.
other way
Yeah,
around, just having
right,
conversations, just
right.
conversations. So
Chilling out and
that's
being in a theme.
just chilling out.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I would. I think I'd go. I'd be drawn to this one, sort of as a little more
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It'd just be
mafioso
looking at
one. Yeah,
the interior. Yeah,
yeah. Got some cool stuff
Hey,
there. So I don't know if
all done in
these are
Moto.
just mock-ups or if they do sort of if this stuff gets actually manufactured and 3D printed or whatever out of their geometry. I don't know, but
I
cool
don't know if
stuff.
it's 3D printed. I think it's just used as a the client green light. Let's do it. Let's make it, and then that sort of the dimensions and everything are taken over by the manufacturers.
Totally,
But they
yeah.
also do interior like this sweet store, which is I think it's underneath like a department store or something like that. They have stalls or little shops, and they do a lot of this type of stuff as well.
Right, right. Good niche to be into. So this one is really interesting to me. You want to describe
Yeah.
what this guy does?
Okay, so this guy, in his hometown, he noticed that a lot of the historic buildings were being torn down and being replaced by new buildings. And so he decided uh, to start making or replicating a lot of the old buildings in 3D. And so he got all the designs, all the photos and everything as a hobby, not his job. And he started to build these 3D environments. And I think there's a slide here showing, this one here. So you can see that the buildings beside these old buildings have been knocked down. So he decided to get old photos and everything and then rebuild it in 3D. So
yeah, and honestly, I don't know if you can even tell, like this is actually, the green one here is 3D. And I think this one here is 3D. I think these two are from the photograph. And what's interesting to me is, here it is, here's some Moto shots, is this is the type of thing I think we're going to see more and more of, where we get more and more 3D proficient people just in the general population. There's going to be people with passions, and this guy is sort of like local history, you know, or local architecture or whatever. They're going to use their tools to sort of do like some interesting, unique thing, like sort of preserving the past via sort of using their artistic skills in 3D. And like I said, like I think you're going to see this more and more. And this stuff is not going to go away. Like this guy's work is perfect for like AR. So assuming AR becomes interesting at once, it becomes widespread at some point, which it probably will, as humans just keep doing the same thing over and over. We just keep going towards something until we get there. Like, well, eventually. And yeah, like you can imagine throwing on the glasses and just like, hey, let's see what this place looked like
down that street
in 1910. Let's see what it looked like in 1830. Let's see what it looked like in 1950. You know, it's pretty amazing. And then just regular people like this Katsunori Goto will just make the stuff. They'll just make it. They'll just make the content. You know, they'll just.
Well, he's got the passion. He's got that passion because he wants to. I think he saw something about someone in Europe, a lady who was drawing this because she wanted to bring back the memories of an old town or something. And he read an article about that, and he thought, oh, I should do that with Japan, with his local area. And so, like, he's building the castle here, which I don't think is there anymore. And so he's got the passion for it, and he's been doing this for quite a while now.
Wait a minute,
this for his regular job, he does like still renders for magazines and that type of stuff.
So wait a minute, this thing's not there anymore?
I don't believe it is. No.
Oh no! Like, how could you?
Yeah, so he's got that old photo.
Yeah,
he's got that old photo. He's sort of like done perspective lines and everything like that, and he's taking
that is really cool. Yeah. Let's take a look at one more. This is our last one. I think we're just going through here, and this is just another company in Japan that uses Moto for a lot of ArchViz stuff. In this case, they're doing bridges and sort of outdoor, sort of large-scale architecture. And I would hide our faces here to show that, but I know that kills our audio, so I'll get that fixed on the next live stream. But we'll look at their video here. We got some interior stuff. We got a little character here at the end. Let me just sort of scroll back a little bit, if I can, to. So they actually have pause that. Actually, I like that. So here again, getting this type of, I don't know if they custom modeled this or got this data into Moto via AutoCAD or Revit or something.
Okay, they're saying they can't hear us. Can you hear us now?
Oh, can you hear us?
Chat.
I didn't disappear us, did I? Oh, you know, maybe I turned on the audio for the
video.
For the video, maybe that over. Apologies if the video, if the video blew out our audio. We'll pause it. Yeah, we should be back, I would think. Tell us if you can't hear us. Can you hear us? So I'll just sort of keep it still here. So again, we're sort of upping our production values here at Pixel Fondue, but this is the first run with all this different media. And I'm noticing in OBS when you have this many animations, they sort of pile up. And I may have forgotten to turn down the audio in this one, but I believe yes, now
it's okay. We're okay.
Good to hear. Because if you
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Oh, music was just really loud. Okay.
Really loud.
Sorry with the loud music. We'll just do the pauses.
Yeah.
Where is it on here? Yeah, okay. I threw it way down at the bottom of my list. So we will. So I'll yell at my assistant to get that queued up better next time. Come on!
The minions.
The mini, right. So yeah, so anyway, that's what we got here. So I would say check out the links and start following people on Twitter and get, again, just trying to build bridges between these communities on the other side of the world and, different language and things like that. And I think, doing this kind of stuff and doing the live streams like you're doing, Matt, is a really good way to go. I think like getting more character box users and sort of using software like that and getting more of like kits like auto character setup and Williams like Mopulians over in the available to the Japanese, localized over the Japanese Moto community is good as well. And perhaps you could serve as a sort of ambassador via Foundry or something to some of these communities. I think it'd be pretty great.
Yeah, I think this type of stuff is doing this showcasing is great, and there's a lot of great stuff coming out of South America and Brazil and all those places where there seems like a really big moto community, but it's not really shown around that much. But you look at the stuff coming out of there, like on Instagram, it's fantastic.
Yeah, there's some killer artists in Brazil, in particular, that I've seen. Really good. And so yeah, I think
around the world as well.
Around the world, and I think like they are just in the sort of social media bubbles because of language, right? And so you're typically not going to be exposed to an artist in Japan or something like that unless you happen to just come across them on ArtStation or something and get their Twitter that way, because they're just probably not in your feed and Instagram or whatever. So we'll do more of this. And Matt, thanks for coming in. And
thank you to Moto Japan Group. So I just wanted to shout out, and Okawa-san, she's fantastic. She did a fantastic job.
Yeah, absolutely. We should Moto Japan Group here. And just talk about them, just a little bit. So a big shout out to Moto Japan Group. We'll put their stuff in the put their links and information in the description. So if you're watching this and you're like a Japanese Max user and you're interested in going to Moto Japan Group is the person to talk to. And Lightwave user. We got to get the rest of those guys moved over. Come on, what are you? Come on, what are you doing? Still Lightwave.
Exactly.
Right. Cool, man. Okay, so I guess we'll sign out here, and we'll catch you guys in the next live stream. Hope to be doing a lot more of these in 2022. Everybody take care. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining in the chat, guys, and we will catch you in a week or two. Bye-bye.
Yum, yum.